The views and opinions expressed on this podcast, including discussions on news, politics, and current events, are solely those of the host and guests and are based on personal thoughts, experiences, and opinions. Nothing stated should be considered factual unless independently verified by the listener. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not provide financial, legal, medical, political, or life advice. Any actions discussed are what we would do personally, not recommendations for others. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research and consult qualified professionals before making any decisions.
What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Impel Forward Podcast. I am your host, Leon, and today I have with me someone he's an entrepreneur, he's a musician, he's a coach, he does a little bit of everything. My man, TyJaun Alston.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? We
Yes,
here
sir.
again.
Yes, sir. We back.
How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well today, man.
Yeah, that's
Woke
what's up.
up kind of sluggish, but I'm all right. I'm good now. I'm in my element. So.
Yeah, I did too. And I brought him on because we kind of in the same lane. Just started your podcast. You just starting again, or was it your first one, or what?
So I'm just picking up again. Before, like I was doing audio, so like I would use Zoom. I would do my interviews. Have my people on, and I would just take that audio and put it into like it was called Anchor at the time, but Spotify bought them out. So I started around 2021 with the podcast. But then I had that slow moment, man, where it was, because you such a visionary, you want more, you want to try to expand. And so it was like going through that, being in school, just getting out of school. I don't know, man, I just kind of gave it up a little bit. But, through the people keep saying, keep going. Hey, you got to record. You got to keep going because what are you doing, So I picked it back up. So now I'm focused on the visuals and the audio now. Because I want people to see the people that I do have on. And now, like I said, because I got my own space, man, I'm trying to go ahead and make that relationship or show people who people are, and just put it all together.
Right. It's like, I don't know if you heard the Think Media when they say,
oh, yeah, I love
just
Think
press
Media,
record.
Man. Just press record.
Yeah.
That's all it's take.
Did you hit record on that? Okay, gotcha.
Good to go.
Now, look, before we get into it, I read something that you got kicked out of college.
Yeah, man, I got kicked out of college, man.
What happened?
It was bad. So growing up, man, I always had this thing where I was very mannerable, stuff like that. I love sports, but like at times in school, I didn't take responsibility. And in fact, I just saw one of the old administrators yesterday and at an event, and she was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "TyJaun Alston." She's like, "Oh my God," because she remembered me getting in trouble. So transitioning to college, like, nobody's holding your hand now. You go to school, you got a 7:30 class. For me, I was going to play at my university. So I had a 7:30 class, stuff like that, but I wasn't being responsible. I was hanging with the upperclassmen. So hanging with the upperclassmen, it looked like throwing dorm parties, playing 2K to 6:45 in the morning, knowing you got a 7:30 class. And one time I had to write a paper actually, and I ended up getting a 95 on it. And I was like, man, that's too easy. This college. So I was like, all right. So at that point, I really didn't like apply myself like I needed to. And then also, monotone voices kill me. So in college, I had a professor who was teaching psychology. And mind you, I took initiative. I would sit up front and everything. But I just started going to sleep in class, like just falling asleep, man, because the way he presented, it was good information, but I just kind of tapped out, man. I was doing everything else at that point, just running around, wasn't being accountable for my education, man. And so I'm real big on education now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. I can't, no. When a kid tell me they slipping, I'm like, no, I'm going to the school. I'm pulling grades, everything. Like, I'm there every day for certain kids. Like, I'm pulling up to the school, make sure you're in class.
Yeah. Now, were you getting in trouble in elementary, middle school too?
Man, I got in trouble in elementary, for sure. Like, ISS was my homeroom, basically.
Oh.
It was bad. And it started from kindergarten. I got in a bad situation. I'm glad the teacher is okay, but I didn't have respect for authority. And that was because of home too. Like, certain things that I felt with my pops, and shout out to them. I'm not saying he a bad person or, but I talked to him and I told him, I said, it's going to be a time where I got to tell the story, and it's just the way he treated my mom, stuff like that. it was bad, man. And as a kid, you see that, and parents don't think that kids know what's going on, but it starts early. It starts early. So in kindergarten, I just didn't have no respect for authority, especially when I feel like you talking to me as if you're my parent, you know? And I understand the role of a teacher because I've been a teacher, but I think the way you deliver things to a kid still when you want them to do a certain thing matters. So just growing up that way, and then in my neighborhood, growing up young, we always fighting and stuff. We outside playing hide and seek, and that turned into somebody hitting you wrong or pushing you too hard or something, and then you scrapping. And so middle school things kind of turned around. I got in a couple fights in middle school. Certain schools you got to prove yourself. Like even if you don't want to do it, like there's gonna come a time where somebody gonna try you, and if you don't have people in your ear, like just walk away. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to fight. You're gonna have to do it, and so a lot of times that happened. And in high school, I probably got in one fight, but I used to slap box all the time too. So really, people that knew me to slap box, it was easy for me. I wasn't getting in trouble, nothing like that. Nobody wanted to fight, but it was one dude just kind of disrespectful to my old girlfriend, man. I turned the corner and I had already told him, I said, if I see you trying to talk to her, it's on sight. I told him that. And I turned the corner one day by the band room. He was trying to flirt with her, talk to her. And I just went to work on him for real. So that was just how I moved. It was off of like anger. It was off of being hot headed, and I was still mannerable to certain people though. But I just had this temper, man. Like, yeah, sometimes it get unleashed.
Right. So did you ever get kicked out of school, suspended during those times?
Luckily, shout out to my principals, like Rod Till. Like the fights that I got in, they let me go back because I would always take the first hit, or it would be a situation where I was defending myself, wasn't like starting stuff. So like the fact like I take the first hit and then I do what I gotta do, like I'm explaining it to him. Look, I was sitting at my desk just like this, hands folded. He came, hit me, boom. Yeah.
So what was your parents saying around this time when you getting in trouble?
Man, it was a lot going on. As far as the fights, my dad always been the type to say, defend yourself, but they didn't want us getting in trouble for like useless things. So like the bus was my biggest problem in elementary school. Like bus write-ups and like I said, in school suspension. I got my butt whooped for that. Because I was just being defiant. I was doing what I wanted to do. And they were just like, I'm tired of the school calling us. Like, so every time, like, my dad get that leather belt with his name printed in it, and he would go to work on us. So middle school, like, I think they knew that I was growing up. They seen it change. But my behavior at home, like, me and my sister was going down one time. Like, to the point where my mom was about to send us to, juvenile detention. Like, and that's when I kind of started waking up because I heard the call and the lady was like, Miss Alston, if you call us one more time concerning these kids, there's no reverse. Like they're going to be in the system. We coming to get your kids, and that's it. And so I never thought my mom would like give us away. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that hurt. You know what I'm saying? So with everything else, I was kind of battling, man, to go through that. I was like, dang, man, but I ain't gonna lie, my mom is my biggest supporter. Next to my grandma, rest in peace to her, her and my sister, you know what I'm saying, is my biggest supporters and always have been. And so for me, I saw the wrong that I did and was doing. But, as kids, you don't think you doing that. You know what I'm saying? You think you just having fun, just playing around. But, like I said, because things was rocky, sometimes that fell on the kids, and so we didn't have that same grace, in that moment. So yeah.
So did your dad stick around?
He still, he stuck around, man. And I'm thankful to have parents who go through rocky situations but stick it out. He's still around now. So
y'all relationship is pretty good.
Yeah, man. I'm like the peacemaker. People see me to be the peacemaker. Even some of my friends, like, even if you have an issue with somebody, I try to find way to get over that hump. I remember Bill Clinton. So I was watching something for school, and he was saying, like, how you are mature in character? He said, when you could sit in a room with your enemy and make a business deal. And I said, man, but I was already living that in a sense too, like with the disagreements, the arguments.
You didn't feel like your parent was an enemy, though, did you?
No, I didn't feel like they was enemies, but I felt like, yo, why? Like at one point, like why I always got to revert to being whooped. You know what I'm saying? Like to be real, my parents used to make me mad. And I used to go in my room and play fight night.
Yeah.
For real, because how else I'm gonna get this anger and aggression out? And I'm like, I'm tired of them like seeing me and I need help, but I wasn't asking for the help. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, because then as a kid, you know your place. You don't want to say too much because you got respect, but you see what's going on. So it's like, man, between that and then school, kind of angry, man. You know?
Right.
So yeah.
So did you ever seek any counseling? Well, you was young again, kid then. We'll get to a point where I ask you that question.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, tell us tell them how I know your story. Tell the audience how you started Eternity Living.
So 2018, this is right before I started grad school. I was sitting in the basement one day and I don't know, I was tired of like living life. Like, even though I did so many things and volunteered, been around the game, you know, I felt empty. And so one day I was sitting there like, God, why am I alive? Like, just like really like take my life. And so back in the day, like in the Bible days, you hear about them making altars and stuff like that. And so I was just trying to find peace with God. So I made an altar and I think I had $1 in my pocket because I was transitioning. So I had just came back from Daytona Beach for being an intern down there for this academy. And I had $1 to my name. And I'm like, God, like, why am I here? And I remember the frustration. So I threw the $1. I actually made a little fire real quick because we got a little cement floor. So I put the $1 there. I wrote a note, wrote my feelings, emotions out. I put it there. And I forgot it was one more thing that I threw in there. And I ended up burning it. And I was like, this it, God. Like, this it. So now it's just me, you know? And at that point, I was ready to take my life, you know, because I didn't want to lean on him. I just wanted to go ahead and end it. And so I said, God, you got to show me something. So I like to draw. And so I put out a white sheet of paper and put the paper on the desk. I grabbed a pencil and I started like drawing. And it was a letter. It was an E. And I'm like, why am I drawing an E, right? I said, God, you got to give me something more than this. So the way I drew the E, it was slanted, but I started drawing the L, and the L was kind of like a chevron. So it's centered chevron. I'm drawing the L, and I'm like, God, like, what is this? And he like, eternity. And I say, eternity what? I said, I'm lost. I said, give me more. I'm not leaving until you tell me. And then I drew the L. He said, living. Say eternity living. And mind you, this is how you know when God gives you something, because you have no idea what it is at first. Like, you really got to lean on him to supply what he's giving you. So I'm like, eternity living? I said, I'm lost. He said, look at how you build relationships. Look how I brought you to build relationships. They're easy for you. And you walk in the love that I have you to walk in with people. He said, that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to talk about my love in a transparent way. He was like, both believers and unbelievers had to know what my true love is. And when he said that, it kind of clicked. And I started, you know, like in a movie, it'd be like, and it show a lot of different scenes.
Yeah.
That's what my mind started doing. It started playing back all these relationships. And I'm like, wow. So then I remember like calling my cousin, like, man, I drew this logo. I colored it. So the red is for blood. The black is the border, right? So the reason why I put the border is because God will only allow us to go so far as his people. Now, will he let you go? Yes. If you willing and you trying to really walk away from him, he'll let you go. You know what I'm saying? But for the ones he love, he does what? Correct, right? And so his love would correct us. You know what I'm saying? Even when we are hard on ourselves and we make mistakes. And so the white is just for his pureness. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to keep things red, black, and white for that reason. So yeah, that's what happened. And then we ended up putting on a t-shirt, and I thought that's what it was gonna be. Just a logo on the t-shirt, whatever. I put it out. People loved the story, why I was doing it. But then God was like, it's bigger than that. And I never been a businessman. I'm still trying to figure it out, but
Right.
he told me, a nonprofit. And so I wanted to do the LLC because the merch, but then the nonprofit thing. And I talked to one of my boys, and he was like, yeah, do the nonprofit first, because you don't want to go for profit first and then try to do a nonprofit, because that's gonna look bad, to the council and everybody. So he was like, just do the nonprofit first. So that's how that started.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you went through childhood with, what'd you say, anger? With anger, getting in trouble
temper,
in school,
yeah.
right? And how old were you when you said you didn't want to live no more? And how did that transition from elementary school to however old you were then to make you have those thoughts of committing suicide?
Let's see. So 2018, I think I was about 23 around that time, 24. Yeah, it's about 23 to 25 I probably was at that time.
So what were you going through then to have those issues?
Man, just like honestly, finances too. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order to get somewhere, you gotta pour money into it sometimes, And a lot of times you have these responsibilities as an adult. Mind you, I was staying with my parents and I wasn't paying rent. And shout out to them for that. Like, I wasn't paying rent, but I would have these opportunities where, let's say, I went to NBA scout school because I wanted to be a scout. And it was a part of my coaching regimen to like help me become a better coach and scout. And so we raised money for that, like $1,500, but it was hard. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm doing stuff like that, but also I'm working maybe in the school system at the time, and I had debt from being an undergrad because I didn't want to ask my parents for money. So the first thing you do when you get to a university, or the first thing that happens, is the banks be like, oh, we got these freshmen here. They're old enough to apply for credit cards. And then you like, oh, what's a credit card? Then you know what it is, but you're trying to really see now because, it's presented to you. And so like you get the credit card, you got $3,000 on it, then you get your refund checks. And so what you think we was doing? We was going to the mall, buying the Tim Duncans, the phone posits, dressing, and I wasn't working. And so I had accumulated debt, and then I started working for the Bobcats and the Hornets and stuff like that. So down that money was helping to pay off. But going back home, man, I was struggling, man, because the creative side of me, man, like, there was so much more I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to have camps. I wanted to do so much other stuff. But I was just in debt, and I felt like my mom, like, was always money focused. You know what I'm saying? More than like,
you said your mind or your mom?
My mom.
Okay.
Yeah, like just more so money focused. Like, every conversation is about money. And I'm like, man, mom, but do you not see what I've been doing? Like, what I'm trying to do? Like, it wasn't like I was just flossing myself out when I came home now. Like, I was a whole different person. Undergrad was over with for at least, 4 years at that point. So I'm just like, man, I'm just trying to get myself in a room and, trying to grow myself, and because I know it's going to hit one day, So just having those conversations, and then my dad, just him, like, and I'm kind of like my dad, but I'm not. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but I felt like I'm more of a direct person. My dad is, I'm a beat around it, but I'm gonna let you know this is what's on my mind. So we had a big argument, man. We had a big argument 2017, I want to say it was, or 16. We had a big argument, and I was like, Dad, all you had to do was just tell me, like, I'm trying to tell you I did this for y'all though, like, because his problem is leaving one last thing, right? You might as well just eat it. And I'm like, you know how traumatizing that is for a kid?
Mhm.
They'd be like, you gotta eat this regardless if you want it or not. So even in my adulthood, I'm getting the same message. You gotta eat this regardless if you want it or not. Don't leave something just sitting around. But I'm like, what if somebody else wanted it? I'm good at the capacity I done ate, And so that was a big argument. I'm like, man, Dad, like I'm tired of you like beating around the bush.
Now,
Like,
are you giving an analogy, or was y'all
no,
really fighting over food?
that's what we was really talking about.
Okay.
Because he was like, why would you leave one thing?
Okay.
And that frustrates him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like,
What's going on? I hope that you are enjoying this episode, but I wanted to take the time out to ask you to please subscribe to the podcast. I've noticed that a lot of people are watching but are not subscribed. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss an episode when it's aired or about to air. And also make sure you go to impelforwardmerch.com. That's impelforwardmerch.com. Grab you something. Now back to the episode.
in the mindset of me, somebody else might want that last piece of chicken, that last hot dog, whatever. Because I'm good. I done ate all I wanted to. But because I left one thing, then he tried to do this whole big old broad statement. No, just be direct. I left it in there. You know I left it in there. Just tell me, hey, why did you leave it in here? And I'm going to tell you why I left it in there. So, but I was just like, yo, I'm just tired of the brokenness of the family, man. And be real. Like, I was just so tired of the brokenness of the family. I was like, you know what? I'm getting out the house. I said, I'm leaving. Summertime, I'm gone. Like, and so I remember I had an opportunity to coach 5-star over in China, where a lot of NBA guys go through, and then the DME thing in Florida. And the only reason why I didn't go to China because I couldn't see my grandma other than Chinese New Year's. But I was going out the house that next summer. I went down to DME, felt like I was getting away. But to be honest, I was miserable. Like, after going through what I went through there, it was like, man, I already did these things the interns did. I felt overlooked once again. So by the time December came, I was like, I'm gonna just go home. And I did. I talked to my dad. I talked to my mom. And my dad always kind of been the supporter too, like to come back home. Like, just come back. My mom, like, no, boy, like, you need to stay, you need whatever. And I'm like,
Be a man, make some
yeah.
money.
So that's the second time that kind of situation happened though. Because when I was working in Charlotte, the same thing kind of happened. I was working for the sales company. I was like, I'm miserable. My dad, we had a rocky relationship. And when he told me to come home that time, I thought things were gonna get better. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, man, my dad telling me to come home, we're gonna be all right. And then boom, that happened. So I went away again. So yeah.
So basically, the struggles of life brought you to that
Yeah, it
point.
brought me to that point, man. Like, I'm tired.
Now, you say your mom was money hungry. So was she trying to tell you to keep a job to bring in some money and so you can help provide? Or
Yeah, but not really money hungry, but it's just like she was more focused on finances, like helping out, doing this, doing that. And I understand.
Right.
But like I told her too, I said, Mom, and this is what I'm saying, kids, you hold so much in over time to where like it eventually comes out. And you're not trying to be disrespectful to your parents, but you letting them know like, hey, I remember this. And I remember being in high school. And I was like, man, me and my sister both wanted to work. And she was like, no, just don't worry about working. Focus on school, do your activities. And so I'm like, now all of a sudden I'm getting pressed for finances, but I've been trying to work since, you know what I'm saying? So like now why am I getting hounded for, when I've been trying to put myself in this situation to make money, even as a kid, so yeah. So it just kind of went off for me.
So what gave you the thought to write your emotions down? How'd you know to do that?
Man, God, to be honest, like through the Bible, man, like, in society as men, the world always tell us we got to coddle this, we got to hold in our emotions. We can't be too soft. We can't be vulnerable. We can't tell our feelings. We just got to eat it and keep going. Like God, no, he's the opposite. God is like, share your emotions with me. You know what I'm saying? Cast your cares, like, he want us to be open and honest and transparent with him so that way he can mend the brokenness and change what needs to be changed and build us, And so once I got that confidence in God, I always went to church growing up. I always used to run in the pulpit as a kid. I was a musician in the church, stuff like that. So when it started coming down to the hardships of life, man, and even before that, I just always was willing to be open, and I didn't care how people saw me. You know, people be like, "Oh, you soft because you showing your emotions and stuff like that." But I'm like, y'all don't know, man. My mouth used to be terrible. I used to get in fights. I'm talking about I get in a fight and hop on the school bus. So like, I'm not soft.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't think that the most quietest person in the room or the most vulnerable person in the room is the softest. That's not true. We just matured. So we ain't got to show that aggression. We ain't got to show we, on that tight time all the time. You know what I'm saying? So like I just grew up like just being in God. And I used to be in my word heavy. Like I'd be downstairs, I pick up the word, I'd be walking around preaching sometime, like talking to people or, so like it was those moments, man, that I just learned to share my emotions, my feelings.
So eternity living once again. So you create the brand. God gave you eternity living.
Mhm.
You create the brand. Now we ran into each other at Invest Fest.
Yeah.
And was that your first year there?
21, what year was that? 20.
I think it was the second year. So that's when I went.
Yeah, so 21 was my first year. So I went in the inaugural, I think it was. Yeah.
And so you was out there promoting your brand.
Man, I was out there serving somebody.
Uh-huh.
So my brand had just started. Mind you, how the merch even became too was this girl was like, "Do you have green shorts?" I said, "No." She said, "Do you still have green shorts?" I said, "Green shorts?" I said, "What you talking about?" She was like, "I thought you had some green shorts." So I was like, "No, but I need to create some." So that was the first pair of shorts I created. So I went to the drawing board, had those, went to Invest Fest. It was online though. And I probably made like 4 more pair of shorts. So green, black, navy blue, and I think some red ones I had. And I had it on the website. And then I had the logo with the shirt with the logo. And so yeah, I was down there serving somebody. His name Jeff, Red Velvet Men's Grooming. Shout out to him in Ohio. And I won a contest. So I won the fragrance, the soap, and all that. And then we began to have a conversation. So that's how I got down there because we built such a relationship. He was like, "Man, I think you should come down here." He didn't ask me to serve. He just wanted me to come down for the experience. And I was like, "Man, I'm coming to serve though." He was like, "Ty, if you could get down here, I got a vendor's tab for you." Mind you, I ain't had no bread like that. I probably had $400 at that time. Mind you, I had to pay for the hotel room, and you know how that go. You got to pay for the hotel in Atlanta. I got a car for $50 for the valet a night. And it was just like, man, I'm wiped out. So I wiped out my whole bank account to go serve him.
Now, what do you mean serve? What do you mean serve? Like help him out
at his table. Right, so okay. I'm helping push the products. I'm talking to people. I had a little camera, I forgot what type of camera it was. It probably was a Canon, but like a power shot, whatever. But I had a little camera and I would like video for him different moments. And then I would just put together a video. So like I was down there doing that for him. And it was a moment he said, "Ty," he said, "Come here." He said, "What you doing?" I said, "Man, I told you I'm here." He said, "Nah, it's time for you to like go rub elbows with people, like share your brand." I'm like, "I ain't got nothing on me." He was like, "Just go tell people about it." So I started walking around, looking at different tables, and then I got into conversations with certain people. I felt like the rapport was there. I was like, "Hey, I got some shorts." I would show them to them. They'd be like, "Man, for how much?" And I was like, $40 at the time. And one dude told me, he said, "Nah," he said, "These shorts not $40. He said, "These shorts $100. And I'm like, but the reason why he said it because of how it looked in the message. He was like, they look designer. You can put them on with an outfit. You can work out in them, go to the gym, whatever the case is. I'm like, cool. So like at that moment, I didn't think I was gonna get a sale. I thought it was all talking, And so I went back to the table, and there was a guy named Trill, and Trill runs with like DJ Envy and a couple other people in real estate down in Atlanta. So when I met Trill, we was talking, we was cool. He got some fragrance, and then Jeff threw it to me. He was like, "Hey Trill, check out the short. He got some shorts, whatever." So I go to Trill and I'm telling him, "Ha, I got this, and I thought $40 was a lot, you know what I'm saying, in the consumer market now. But Trill saw him and he was like, "Man, here go $120. He was like, "I need 2 pairs, just ship them to me." So that's my first sale ever. Yeah, with the shorts like that.
How'd you feel in that moment?
Man, I felt good because one, like sometimes, like we was talking before off camera, like you want to price your stuff at a certain price. And sometimes you care so much about people that you shortchange yourself and your value. And that just showed me like that God work in me wasn't in vain as well. Like if God gives you something, it's not gonna be in vain. You gotta work the field. You may have to apply the field a little bit, work the window, but at the same time, nothing that God gives us returns to us void. And so it showed me that God saw me. It showed me that I had something that people want. And then as well as put it to where you want it. Like put your price at where you want it. And so honestly, after that moment, I put my shorts at $80. I put my shorts at $80. And I was like, let me see if I get a sale. And I ended up, people still bought them at $80. And I was like, okay. But then because I care for people, after being seen, seeing that God see me, he loved me, care for me, people were willing to invest, I put the shorts at $60. So that was my market, $60 for the short.
So you went down there to serve somebody for free.
Serve somebody for free.
You didn't charge them anything to do
No.
it, help them out. And God bless you with themselves.
God bless me. God
and,
bless
you know,
me.
and you got some game, you know, people helping you out,
Right.
you know, telling you that your stuff was worth more than the $40 that you could charge them.
Right.
Right.
Like it's people down there that's honestly like we talk about earning your leisure. Like Michael McDonough got the shorts. Like I gave shorts to Troy Rashad. I haven't seen him wear them yet, but like I seen Michael McDonald like at a spades junk at his crib talking junk in my shorts, and I'm like, whoa. Right. And then people like Matty J, he put a lot of people on the Turo game. You know, he stopped me one day. I got on his webinar, and people was raising their hand to ask questions. He was like, I'm taking 4 more people. I popped in. Once he said that, I saw 4 hands raised up. Another hand went up, then my hand went up. And then he was like, hold on, I got to skip this real quick. He was like, Ty, he said, run the play for him. So I ran the play. I built rapport with him. It wasn't like I was trying to get anything from Matty. I just like his vibe, who he was as a person. He always put people on game. He shared information. And then like he dressed fly. Like, you know what I'm saying? He the type that it's almost like our Fabulous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he just always knew how to put on a fit. And so I figured out his sizes and stuff like that. And the next time I went to Invest Fest, I was like, I got a care package for you. So I ran the play. I pulled up with the care package, gave it to him. He pulled the shorts out, put them to his body. He was like, bro, these shorts fire. So on the webinar, he told me, he said, look, let me tell you something. He said, you know where them shorts at? And I was like, where? He said, I got a whole designer short set in my closet. He was like, your shorts sitting over there over top. And like, that just blew my mind, man.
Right.
It blew my mind. Yeah.
That's what's up. So now you also said that, wait a minute, has he wore your, do you know if he wore them yet?
He wore the shorts plenty
Okay.
of times.
Okay.
Like Matty, so he done wore the shorts like working out in Africa, Ernestine Johnson and all of them, like their kickball tournament, he had them on. Okay. So like, you know, like just different people. Like, so there's eyes on the shorts. Like now I got to figure out how to get them to them.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Now you told me about, was it Akeem Ali?
Akeem Ali, yeah.
Man, you said he was gonna charge you $3,000 to wear your stuff.
$3,000. But it was cool because so I saw him in the store. I went to go get some food, me and my people. We had just left 2819, went to get some food. It was called Hungry AF. And so I'm sitting in there. Mind you, I see this guy come in, tailored up. I'm like, you know, cardigan, like kind of what I got on, brown pants, some brown shoes, yellow socks. He, you know, just tailored up. And I'm like, man, this dude look familiar. So like, once we built that rapport, like he sat down, I'm like, man, I got this clothing brand, showed it to him. Cause I see you got on the cardigan, so you rock with cardigans. I had just made the cardigan too online. So like, I'm like, yo, I got this cardigan. I'm trying to get it out to people like to wear it, And then I was like, but man, I said, who are you? I said, you look so familiar. And he started laughing. I said, you a rapper? You a model? He said, I'm a rapper. I said, nah, bro, you more than that. I said, you trying to shortchange me? He started laughing. So he took my phone, put his Instagram in there. So when I seen it, I said, I knew I seen bro before. I was like, this Akeem Ali. So I told my people, I was like, yo, this him. Got in the car. At that point, I'm texting him. He like, I could wear it, but if you really want me to wear it to promote, $3,000. He said, but it might be a chance he just have it on, you know? And I was like, I'm gonna wait for that moment. Because $3,000 though, as an entrepreneur, definitely if you don't have the sales that you need, it could be a crush. But then we believe in God, so there's another side to that. There's a faith move that could happen.
Right.
He about to go on tour right now. Imagine if I had $3,000 right now to give him to wear the cardigan, and he on tour.
Would
He
you
gonna
do
keep it up there for a month? Absolutely. Because I know that because he got it on, people gonna buy it. It's
True.
like when I used to see Fabulous in them in authentic jerseys, I always want authentic. I didn't want the print on. I didn't want the replica. I want the authentic. You know what I'm saying? So we would go buy the authentic because we wanted to feel like whoever had it on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, my thing is this though. They're going to all these other stores and buy all their brands,
Mhm.
but he'll ask you to pay him $3,000 to wear your brand.
Mhm.
That don't make sense to me. Even though it will get you some publicity and people will see it. But
Mhm.
in order to ask you for $3,000 just to wear your brand, but they'll go to these other stores and
Yeah.
buy their brand.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I understand the hustle of it though.
Right.
I mean, at that point, it's brand awareness. Like, I feel like once a person connect, whether you got a high level brand or a start off brand, and I don't believe in that.
Right.
I believe what you have is your high market brand, right?
Mhm.
You know, we don't need to shortchange ourselves. You know, once they connect to the brand, they'll be probably willing to purchase.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So like, I look at it, it's a hustle, man. And like him, he had to put in his time to get where he at now. So like, I feel like because there are so many people that's probably tagging at him now, and he's such a free, like, I don't want to say free baller because that sounds crazy, but he's such an open person to where you might catch him outside. You know what I'm saying? Definitely in Atlanta, you see so many people anyway. Just imagine how many people coming to him like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Can I get on the record? Can I, you know what I'm saying? And he's kind of trying to weed out who's real and who's not. You know what I'm saying? Even though I didn't take the $3,000 pitch, I'm like, man, I'm moving off faith, bro, because I know I believe in my product. So it might be one day he going through his closet or something like that before he get rid of stuff. He might see my cardigan and he might be like, yo, I need to go ahead and put this on. I got to fit, you know? I just kind of move like that. So
Well, I think you did the right thing
Yeah.
as far as not giving him the $3,000 and just giving him the merch.
I don't know, man. I
No.
feel like it would have given him that $3,000 right there.
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
Ain't no
I
way.
don't know.
Yeah. So you like I said, you're a musician too.
Yes, sir.
I seen something you said you were putting out a single or something.
Oh man, yeah, I'm putting out a single, man. I'm not a rapper, but I'm rapping on this.
Oh, it's
track.
rap.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was rap.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it, to be honest. And right when I was gonna record my vocals, I had got sick. This was around March when we had that snowstorm, and I had got so sick. So everything that I was doing up until that point stopped. Going to the gym, all that. But this track, man, is something I've been sitting on since 2022, and I ended up having writer's block. So I got to a certain point in a song. I was like, I don't know where to go after this. And my boy Kid Prince, he the rapper. He out here doing this thing now. Shout out to him. But I asked him to do the track. So I was gonna write the lyrics. I wanted him to do it. He was like, nah. He said, I'm gonna challenge you to do it. And I said, all right. So yeah, it's pretty dope, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can recite a little bit. I ain't gonna rap it, but
Go ahead.
because it's. I think the reason why I didn't do it either because it stings so deep. Like when you really listen to it,
Mhm.
and if you understand the metaphors and what I'm saying, like it's gonna be like, yo, he really trying to expose some stuff. But it was like sitting and dipping and sitting, searching scriptures that's hitting. Why don't y'all listen? Some politicians on a mission causing division. Some churches really splitting. This world is really tripping. See, your flesh don't have no vision. The street spraying, asking questions later. Pastor shooting shots, but their name is not Tatum. And when it comes to demons, Holy Spirit gonna slay them. Riding with the king, we may take some falls. The world is against us, but we gonna stand tall. And like my boy Ash, I gotta catch them all. And so it's back to the crib. Matter of fact, It's back to the way of loving, back to the way of hugging, showing love to the lives that's living, talking eternity living.
Okay. So what kind of genre would you put that in?
So it's definitely rap,
Mhm.
but people call it Christian rap.
Yeah. That's why I asked.
Right. I
Right.
think it'd be considered Christian rap, but
Mhm.
the ultimate thing that I'm getting at is like, even when I talked about like my boy Ash, I gotta catch him all, so it's back to the crib. That's a Pokemon reference. You know how Ash used to go around and try to catch the Pokemons and stuff like that?
I'm not too big on
Well,
Pokemon.
yeah, so Ash, he used to go try to catch these different creatures and stuff like that, and certain creatures got certain status, but the overall is catching the hearts of people, you know what I'm saying, bringing them back to the crib, which is God, you know what I'm saying, like, in their hearts for God. So me as a disciple, my job is to do what? Go out and create disciples, right? And so that's why I said that. And then I was like, Pastor shooting shots, but the name is not Tatum. Like, that's a Boston Celtics reference for Jason Tatum, because Jason Tatum, they won a championship, but also what's his number? It's 0. So a lot of preachers got these fabricated sermons, and I'm not no preacher, but they got these cookie cutter sermons that they think is really championship material, but they're not reaching those souls. You know what I'm saying? So people come and they hear this word, but you don't penetrate their hearts, you know, or their spirits, and then they leave you empty. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said with the number 0. So it's just, and then the church is splitting. Like, this world is tripping. Like, we so caught up in production. We so caught up in all these things, man. And it seems like sometimes these pastors, man, like, they making it about them. You know what I'm saying? And God never wanted that for us, to make his word about us, like us reaching people about us. But we think that we gotta have the best band, we gotta have this, we gotta have that, the lights, you know what I'm saying? I gotta look flawless all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff. And it's like, man, is it about you, or is it really about reaching people? And you can still do that, you know what I'm saying? But when you start hearing like, it's about me and nothing else, and you know, like, whoa, I done served in this ministry before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would never go back, you know, because now I know that, you know what I'm saying? So, like, we gotta be careful of that, man. Like, how we using the word of God, you know, for sure, when it come down to ministry. You know, like, I say do away with the building and go back to tents and go back to standing on hills. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be real, because I think that's more effective, because people don't go to churches because the music not good or whatever. And I understand you like what you like, but it's not about the music. It's about worshiping corporately together. I understand that could be a distraction. You get what I'm saying? And I understand that you don't want no musician over there messing up. But where's the heart, right? Are you going to go ahead and persecute them on live and live stream and live services and, oh, you suck, get off, somebody else? That's not the heart of God.
Are you talking about somebody?
No, no, not at all. Not at all. This is just over time. We have seen some stuff, but also I watch those videos too, and I understand the relationship. So I ain't even tripping on that. But you know, I thought that was pretty funny anyway after they started talking about it, because I've been around that before. Like, so I know what that was. It wasn't bad. Like, people made it. It's just the fact that he probably said it, and they caught on to it. And
especially people don't know.
yeah,
You know, that's how he is.
Yeah.
But so how did you get involved in music? You know, you play the bass, or you play? I know you play keys a little bit.
Yeah, I started playing drums. And then, of course, that's pots and pans. And then my mom gave me this Mickey Mouse drum set. I remember I used to love that little blue Mickey Mouse set, but I ended up busting the heads and stuff. I just being a kid, I bust the heads, whatever. But growing up, my mom wanted to learn to play keys, and her brother plays keys too. But she started learning on her own, and she was a part of this group called Faithful at Olive Grove in Oxford. And there's a Williams Brothers song, I think it was, that she showed me, and I think it was in either F or B. B flat. I can't remember, but she showed me the chords, and I used to go downstairs all the time and try to take my time. Mind you, I'm just seeing. I don't know. I'm just remember what she showed me. So I would sit down and play that. And then I finally got it one day. I was like, Mom, like, listen to this. And I think I was like maybe fifth grade at the time. And then at that time, I ended up learning Alicia Keys' song. Now, mind you, it wasn't Alicia, but it was close enough. And I was like, man, I can really do this. Like, so I let her hear that too. And that's kind of where that took off. So I would just sit down. I would always try to make little songs using one key, whatever, just rhythms, man, and kind of just took off from there. I was really just self-taught. You know, she taught me that first song, but just growing up, I just started having an appreciation for keys. And I was still playing drums too, but I started to learn the keys. And now, you know, I taught myself bass. So I play bass a little bit too.
Right. And now you're rapping.
Not too much, man. I might be one and done though, man. I might be one and done.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think out of all this, from elementary, growing up, got your brand, you're doing some things now? Talk about your podcast you're starting.
Okay, so the Eternal Living podcast too. So yeah, so like I'm doing that because now I'm trying to put the visuals with the audio. And so eternally living means to love people where they are through a transparent lens called life. You know, so whether you can help somebody or not, you know, you still got to show love to them. And so if somebody down, why beat them down, right? If somebody down and you can't help them, instead of trying to ridicule them and talk about them, just walk away. But if there's somebody you can help, what does God want us to do? Help that person out, you know? And so it's just all about loving people where they are. So now for the podcast, it's just from going from audio to going to visuals. I want to show people those relationships, because a lot of people get into podcasts too and they be like, dang, like, what's the topic? Oh, what's the conversation? I tell people all the time, I don't have nothing written down.
Right.
It's off relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's off of knowing somebody or following somebody. You know what I'm saying? And we just get in, we chop it up. And so it's really a ministry podcast. It's absolutely ministry-based podcast that's transparent. So we talk about fashion, we talk about music, we talk about sports, actor, business, whatever, you know, whatever that person got going on. But it's really to capture the hearts of people by the end of it. Yeah.
All right. You say you don't have nothing written down. What you trying to say?
No, no, not that. It's just how I am. I'm such a like spontaneous. Even how we linked up, you know, it was just very spontaneous, man. And like that's me. Like I felt like it's a bad thing. Definitely in relationships. I said this the other day. I said, I hate that I pay attention so much. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel like you're the right dude in the situation sometimes. You feel like you're the right dude, but you're not, because they want somebody else. You feel like, yo, it's a match. We, you know, and you know, but them, they may see you and it's the idea of you, but it's not you.
No, I'm lost. What are you talking about?
Like in relationships, yeah. As far as feeling like, how can I say this? Going back to what we was talking about with the podcast and all that, right? I pay attention to my guests.
Okay.
So before I bring them on, I already got a relationship with them. But the way I'm set up is, even in relationships, I'm that same person. So I pay attention a lot.
Yo.
And so I feel like I just pay attention too much to where like I'm giving myself, but it's not catching on the hook. You get what I'm saying? So like, I think the world of you. I know what you got going on. I'm trying to support you this way, whatever, but I'm not the guy for you. You know what I'm saying? Off of what you see. I'm thinking that I'm the catch, but it's somebody else that you want ideally, that probably is ideally like me, but not me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You was talking about relationship, and then it seemed like you was talking about a girl. So I'm like, hold on, where we go?
Okay. So just relating that, like I pay attention so much. So as a podcaster, as a creative, that's why I don't like write stuff down, because how I'm set up and wired already, I'm just like, I kind of know the person, or at least I know where I could lead if I had to lead somewhere in the conversation. So I just fly by night, just record, man. For real.
Okay. Y'all see, you trying to talk about me?
Nah. I ain't gonna do you like that.
Nah.
I need to start writing stuff down for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think some of your biggest mistakes are in life?
Biggest mistakes? For one, not believing in myself. You know, that's the biggest thing. Like, I remember like playing sports and I knew I'd give you a bucket. And I would laugh. I would do whatever I wanted. Like I used to have that confidence. I remember being a lot smaller, dressing a certain way. I had the confidence, you know what I'm saying? But I think after so much stuff transpired throughout my life as we went over, I kind of let myself go from family to visions and creativity to relationships, man. I just let myself go. I didn't want to feel no more pain. And I think that's the worst decision I ever made in my life because it created this hole for me, and sometimes it's hard to get out of those holes. But I think I also needed it. But losing confidence in myself and not believing in myself was the biggest mistake I feel like I ever made, man.
Mhm.
Because it causes you to self-sabotage or not show who you really are, for people or to get people to respect you or give you the respect, because you seem like every time you're speaking down on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's not me, man. That's never been me. I always been the goofy, joke around, confident, willing to talk, willing to build relationships. I always been that type.
Yeah.
So now I'm a little bit more slow-footed sometimes. Yeah.
I got another question. So, what was the best decision you think you made in your life? It could be the same answer. What
The best decision, honestly, was to not focus on the merch no more.
do you mean?
Because as an entrepreneur on that side, when you have merch, definitely for me, you get caught up in not making sales, people not buying. You go through that dry season, you like, man. So then you kind of get lost. Like, what I supposed to be doing? I supposed to be using my voice to speak, to tell the message. You know what I'm saying? And allow the message that's given to draw the merchandise. And so for me, I think just understanding that was the biggest thing I learned. And then also too, man, like we said before, press record or start. I had a shirt that said start with a period. I'm actually bringing it back. But I'm like, start. If you want to go to school, start applying. If you want to work, apply. If you want to be an athlete, start working out. You know what I'm saying? If you want to have a podcast, get a mic. You don't need no video. Press record. You know what I'm saying? Like, had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's how my first time being on the podcast was. I was at the golf course with my boy. I was like, man, I always want to be on the podcast or have my own podcast. He's like, Ty, after this, follow me to the house. So we went to his garage. He shut the garage. He pulled out this little Yeti mic, put it in the middle of the table and press record and started having a conversation.
Yeah.
And he was like, that was one of the best episodes I ever had. So me, I thought it took too much, but it don't.
Yeah, people always ask me what I got to do to start a podcast. I don't have all the stuff. Get your phone, set it up, press record.
That's it.
That's all it takes. A lot of people, we all start off small and
Right.
grow. Like you say, earn your leisure. They started with just
With a
iPhones.
cell phone, right.
Yeah. In their, I think it's Troy Basement or something.
Uh-huh.
Like that.
One shot. I remember watching them at that table too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you have any mentors in the space, or just mentors in life or in the merch space?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of mentors. Like, so shout out to John Saucier. He actually have a company called Team Jesus Athletic Ministries. And he used to be the chaplain for St. Mary's in Ohio where LeBron played at. So he was actually the chaplain at the time Brown was playing. So shout out to him, man. Great guy. Dr. Fugger here in Durham, he's a principal, I think at Oak Ridge or something like that, a new school. But he was one of my mentors, growing up, definitely sports-wise. He used to have me in the gym, wanted me to play ball in college. And he took time to kind of be there. But as a kid growing up, definitely middle school and up, he always been in my life. So Marcus Ogden, he's another guy. He has the Be Authentic or Get Authentic podcast. His brother used to play for the Baltimore Ravens, Hall of Famer, Jonathan Ogden. So Marcus is one of those guys. P. Nate, man, shout out to him. I know he gonna fuss me out when he hear that because he be like, how you my son? And you be worried about hit me up and all that. Hey, man, just call me, just hit me up. So but shout out to P. Nate, man. I love that guy, man. He's one of my mentors for sure as well. Somebody that I love and cherish. But yeah, so I got a few mentors across the board and Coach Huff from Voyager Academy. man. He's one of my guys as well. I went there to kind of be a mentor. For basketball, I didn't want to coach, but he saw my coaching background. He was like, "No, you have to coach." And so we've been close ever since. I work his camps in the summer. I don't know if I can do it this summer, but I normally go down to Gardner Road and Gardner Webb and down the way by Charlotte and go help him out. So I got some good dudes in my corner, man.
Right.
It's needed. Can't do it by yourself.
Oh no, you can't. You can't. Now, like you said, the word impel means to take action. Like you were just talking about taking action. That's what Impel Forward is about, taking action, moving forward. So got a couple of questions. We're about to end it here.
Okay.
What is one piece of advice you would give someone who knows what they want but hasn't taken the first step yet?
Get out your head. That's the first thing I say. Get out your head, because the mind is a battlefield. And I know Steve Frederick came out with a book like Crash the Chatterbox. Like one of the best books I read, like, because in your mind there's so much going on. And if you know what you're supposed to do or want to do, like it's the Steve Harvey thing. At that point, you gotta jump. You gotta go.
Right.
You can't play it safe. If you gotta jump off the curb first and then jump off that third step and then jump off the building, so be it. But you gotta jump. You gotta go. Don't let that thought just be a thought, because you're gonna regret it. Yeah, if you don't take action.
Right. If you could leave the Impel Forward audience with one challenge to complete in the next 24 hours, what would it be? Could be the same thing. Now that you got something different.
For that person who got a business idea and you already got the framework and you don't have an LLC or nonprofit, I challenge you to go ahead and get that established. If there's somebody who feel like they don't have a community, and those are two biggest things for me, is establishing your business, but also having a good community. Like if you feel like you need the right person around you or something like that, I challenge you to go ahead and find a mentor. Find a mentor. Find somebody who you could trust, who wants to work with you, you know what I'm saying? Because you need that, because what they're going to give you is not a yes person. What they're going to give you is the reality. So what are you doing, right? And in that moment, when you have that meeting with them, they're going to push you forward. If not, you should already push yourself forward. But yeah.
But before we go, we talked about something before. I don't know, it was off camera. And you just said the word community. That brought to my remembrance.
Okay.
So what do you think is the difference? Because we talked about people collaborating and getting together and doing things. And you were saying around here in Durham it's kind of hard. People don't show love like they think they should. But when you go to ATL, it's kind of different. So what's the difference? What you think it is?
I love my city, but I just had this conversation yesterday too. A lot of people see it. It's egos. It's cliquish. It's like people don't want to do things without getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So like, oh, what's your budget? When I just told y'all in my story, I was serving. I was going broke to go serve somebody, to volunteer, not getting anything back. Like, that's the difference. It's the heart of people. Down in Atlanta, they support each other, man. Like, you might see somebody on one podcast and they get on somebody else's podcast and another person got that same person, but they all work together. You get what I'm saying? So they not selfish. They cross-network, right? But they not also getting over on each other. That's what I see. So here it's like, it's ego, it's pride, it's if my name not on it, I don't want to do it. Oh, if you ain't got no money, I can't give you no service. In Atlanta, you got people just linking up, like shooting random podcasts. Like even when we go to Invest Fest, my boys from VA, we shot a random podcast in they spot that they were staying at one year, just because they was like, man, I want to do it, but okay, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different environment, man. So here we just got to create an environment. Like, we got to have people who are on the same team. I don't mind grabbing my camera. I did it yesterday for the book festival downtown Durham for somebody. I just had my camera taking pictures, taking videos, just because I support that person. They didn't pay me, but I treated it as such. Yeah.
Well, let me show my appreciate my jersey.
Got that heat.
So go get you one.
Yeah.
Hey, so you got your Your website up?
Yeah, I got my website up. So it's eternitylivingbrand.square.site.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so tell the people where they can find you on social media and everything.
Yeah,
else.
social media, TyJaun Alston, Facebook, Instagram, t.alston22, Eternity Living Brand on Facebook and Instagram as well. And I don't really do the Twitter thing and stuff like that. But yeah, so you can find me there.
And make sure they check out your podcast. It's under your name. Well,
Yeah,
Eternity Living Brand.
So go to my Instagram, click the link in the bio for the links. And they'll take you right to the store, to the podcast, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. YouTube, yeah, same information.
There you have it for another episode of the Impel Forward Podcast. And remember, seize the opportunity and take action like Ty did and grasp your dreams. Peace.
Yes, sir.